What is going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Mike Roach Show. And on the agenda today, I'm pretty sure that everybody watching this knows that a big time playoff series is coming up on Saturday at 1 p.m. with the Toronto Raptors and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so, with that being said, we are here to discuss some of the matchups that we are going to see with those starting units. So we're going to talk about all of it. Some of the do's, some of the don'ts, some of the things we might see, what we may not see. I mean, who knows at this point? You never know going into a playoff series exactly what the heck to expect. So we're going to discuss a bunch of different things as the show continues. And get in the comments if you're going to be watching. Put your stuff out there so I can see it and we can all discuss together. Okay, make sure you get in there. Get in the comments while the show is going on so I can get the stuff. Adam, Raps in 6. All right, damn it. He came flying out with that one. I mean, goodness gracious. Show hadn't even started yet, and he's already getting this thing rolling. Listen, we're going to talk about that because there is a pathway to victory here. Not 100% sure what it is, damn it, but there is. If you're telling me, I mean, this is not a massive spread. Now, the Raptors are the underdogs going into this series, clearly. I think we all know that. But to the point where you say that they can't win this series, I will reject that. Are they likely to win the series? I don't think so. But to say the Raptors can't win the series, there is no way in hell I'm going to be going that far. There is no way I'm going to go that far. The Raptors can win this series. Are they likely to? Maybe not. But can they win? Absolutely. And I'm not saying that like this is a Philadelphia-Boston matchup where Boston's just going to steamroll over these guys. No, I'm not saying that. I believe if the Raptors actually put in that work, do that damage, play to their strengths, and you can get a win on the road. I mean, listen, you don't have the luxury in this series of guys not showing up. I'm talking about not one guy or two. Everybody got to show up. And I've talked about this before. Everybody must show up. Adam, what's going on, my man? Everybody has to show up. You have to. And listen, we're at the point right now where I don't want to hear excuses for anyone. Before I get into this show, I'm letting y'all know from now, when this series starts, it's put up or shut up time for everybody. I don't want to hear excuses for anyone. Zero. I want to hear excuses for no one. For no one. This is big boy time. This is big boy time. You got to show up and show the hell out. You have to. The world now is watching. The world is watching. You will be exposed, and exposed in a nasty way if you don't show up for this series. So I want to talk about, obviously, Raptors, Cavs being the heavy underdogs, the guard matchups, the forward matchups. We're going to be talking about the center matchup as well. And this show is going to be specifically for the starters. And then I will do a separate show for the bench. And we will go over that there in that show. Okay, so first of all, now, this is a 5 and a 4 seed. This is not like we're going into this thing as a 1 and an 8. And first of all, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to drop one for the Raptors I had them at a 47 wins before the regular season. They got to 46, which I can appreciate. That loss against the Sacramento Kings still pisses me off for some reason. Maybe it shouldn't. Maybe it should, but it still does. It really, really bothers me. I mean, seriously, it really just annoys me. But anyway, the Raptors go into this matchup, the 5 and the 4 seed. So it's not like there's some massive gap here. Okay. Now, obviously, when you're looking at a team like the Cavs, they are more built to win now. When you think of a James Harden, Okay. And can we be honest here? Can we have honest conversations here? Can we have honest conversations here? I see some people are watching. Get in here. Get in the comments. Let me know what's going on here. Let me know your thoughts. James Harden, Donovan Mitchell. Now, we're going to talk about the rest of the starters. They are problems. They are serious problems, ladies and gentlemen. James Harden is shifty. He gets you into that pick and roll. Stepping back from three, knows how to draw the foul from three. He's got handle. He can dish. He can get to the hoop. He can pull up from mid-range. From an offensive standpoint, the guy can do work. He can do work. Okay, Donovan Mitchell, strong guard. Doesn't have a lot of size, but he's a strong physical guard. Step back and light you up from three. He'll get to the basket. He'll dunk it on you as well. And he'll get out in transition and head straight to the basket. He's a problem. He's a problem. We know this. We know this. Okay? You can put defensive schemes in place to be able to guard these guys. There's only so much you can do. There's only so much you can do. It has to be a team effort. The communication has to be on point. The physicality has to be there. But it's going to be a team effort if you want to be able to slow these guys down, because you're really not going to be able to fully stop them, right? You're not going to be able to fully stop these guys. You have to find ways to be able to slow them down, though. That's the thing. And so before I get into any of these matchups, I talk to you. Yes, the Raptors are underdogs in this series. And the last time that we did see the Raptors play against the Cavs, they played them 3 times, beat them all 3 times by double figures. But that was before December. That was before the month of December. I'm pretty sure that you notice Ash Y4TW. What is going on, Ash Y4TW? Let me know your thoughts in here. That was obviously before they got a man by the name of James Harden. And we did see James Harden when we played the Clippers. Obviously, haven't seen him with the Cavs. He changes the entire dynamic of the team. And it's funny because the reason I keep mentioning the Raptors as an underdog is because to me, it's perfect. I love that. I love that. I love when you are a team that nobody believes in. I love when you're a team that nobody believes in, because then you can go out and play free. You have absolutely nothing to lose. What the hell do the Raptors have to lose going up against the Cavs? What do they have to lose going up against the Cavs? They have 0. Nobody believes in the Raptors anyway. Nobody believes the Raptors are going to win. Nobody believes they're going to do anything. No one does. I'm telling you, listen to this, because I got this online. Listen to ESPN here. Listen to ESPN. Remember, ESPN were the ones that predicted that the Raptors were going to have 33 wins after the season. 33 wins after the season, which you know what that means. You know what that means? It means that none of them watched the games. Clearly. I'm telling you, if anybody did any type of homework with the Raptors before the season started and predicted that they were going to win 33 games, you would just be flat out stupid. Because how the hell does little old me predict that they're going to win 47 games and end up winning 46? And you lost some pretty bad games out there that you shouldn't have lost. Seriously. The Raptors could have been a 50-win team this year. And if the Raptors were a 50-win team this year, Darko would have been a nominee for Coach of the Year. He wouldn't have gotten it, but he would have been a nominee. You bet, if he had won 50 games, you can book it. I'm telling you that. But listen, if you look at this, because right now what I'm about to read to you is that the names, so I'm going to read this to you. This is from Marley Dickinson, okay, from Blog TL. So here are some names and what the predictions are for the Raptors and Cavs in this series. Let me just read this to you before we even get started. So, ESPN has released its playoff predictions, and the Toronto Raptors did not receive a single vote to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in their 7-game series. 10 of the 12 NBA writers picked Cleveland to beat Toronto in either 5 or 6 games, while the remaining 2 predicted the Cavs would win in the series in 7. Jerry Bembry, Cavaliers in 6. Vincent Goodwill, Cavaliers in 7. Baxter Holmes, Cavaliers in 6. Zach Cram, Cavaliers in 5. McMahon, Cavaliers in 6. Dave McMenamin, Cavs in 6. Anthony Slater, Cavs in 6. Ramina Shelbourne, Cavs in 6. Mark Spears, Cavs in 6. Michael Wright, Cavs in 7. Young Misuk, Cavs in 6. And Eric Moody, Cavs in 5. So it's like I mentioned to you. What pressure do the Raptors have going into this series? 0. All of the pressure is on Cleveland at this point. And the Raptors, to me, actually match up pretty well with the Cavs in this series. The Cavs do have some towers, yes, in the paint, but from an offensive standpoint, you can neutralize them. From a defensive standpoint, they're going to be good. They're long. They can block some shots and they can move. They're mobile. But you have guys, I believe, who can neutralize them, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So I want to start off here talking about Immanuel Quickley and James Harden. Okay. Immanuel Quickley, this is going to be a tough matchup. And I'm sure that for he's not going to be on James Harden all game. There's going to be probably some times where you're going to have to mix and match depending on who's out there on the floor. Sometimes you're probably going to have Barrett. Sometimes you may have Barnes because he's versatile, right? And so the matchup is not always going to be a Quickley and Harden matchup. It's going to be multiple different looks being thrown at James Harden. But I'll get to Quickley in just a second, but what do you got to be careful with when it comes to James Harden? He's going to get you in that pick and roll. He's going to get you in that pick and roll. He can step back from 3. He's deadly. He can step back from 3. He can get to the basket. Harden is a problem. I'm telling you, Harden's a problem. Now, there might be people who come in here and be like, oh, yeah, the Raptors are going to crush these guys. It's not going to happen. The Raptors are going to put up a fight. I hope. I hope. But if y'all think that Cleveland, Donovan Mitchell, and Mobley and Harden, and you're going to have guys like Dean Wade and Strus, if you think these guys are just a bunch of bums, you're on something here. You're on some. These guys can play. They could play. I'm telling you, it's going to be rough. The Raptors are going to have to play damn near perfect basketball just to try to force this thing to a game 7 if they're lucky. And I don't accept defeat. I'm a warrior. Don't get me wrong here. But at the same time, if we're going to be honest, it's like I mentioned, they're the underdogs in this thing, ladies and gentlemen. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone here. They're more built to win now. They're more built to win now. And so, James Harden, you're going to have to throw double teams at him at some point, I'm assuming. Maybe not all the time, but if he's really doing work and he's carving guys up with his dribble and hitting you up from 3, and he's finding guys in a half-court set, the game is going to slow down. We're going to see more half-court for the Raptors than we probably want to. The half court for the Raptors scare the absolute hell out of me. They do. I've been saying this for a long time. If the Raptors can get out and run, I would prefer to see that. Yes, it's going to slow down in the half court when it comes to playoff time. I get that. But I still want to see the Raptors go out there and try to run and get fast break points as much as they can. I don't care if it's the playoffs. I want the Raptors to run. I want to see him run. And Emmanuel Quickley is going to be a part of that. He's one of the guys who's going to have to be pushing that ball. And if it's not just him, you're going to see a guy like Scotty Barnes as well, because he pushes the ball the most. Emmanuel Quickley is going to have to run those lanes. He's going to have to run those lanes, and he's going to have to pull up from three. And he's going to have to drill threes. He's going to have to. He's going to have to attack James Harden off the dribble as well, because you're going to have to try to make him defend. You have to make him try to play defense. You can't just let him sit back defensively and have all of his energy to go out there and kill you from an offensive standpoint. You got to make him work defensively. You got to try to make him move. You got to wear him down. You have to be physical with him, especially if there's a switch and there's a mismatch. If it goes to Ingram or Barrett or Scotty, you got to work him. You got to take him into the paint. You got to lean a shoulder into him. You got to make him work defensively. And also for Quickley, we know that we see him pull up from three, but don't be afraid to pull up from mid-range as well. You got to keep him guessing. Yes, you got to be able to stretch that floor, clearly. But off the dribble, go into the basket, you can pull up from mid-range. I'm not telling you to be Brandon Ingram or anything like that, because he's like a mid-range specialist. But you want to try to be able to score at all three levels. Keep them guessing. Barnes, Ingram, Quickley, Barrett. You got to keep them guessing. You got to keep them scoring from all three levels. You got to. Quickley is going to be so important. Him moving the ball, creating for his teammates, making that extra pass, getting out into transition. And from a defensive standpoint, Quickley hasn't been bad defensively this year. He really hasn't. He's been much better than what we've seen in the year past. He's been good from a defensive standpoint. Or at least, if you don't say he's good, from decent at least. But he hasn't been bad at all. So from a defensive standpoint, the Raptors are one of the better defensive teams, even though they have their lapses. Obviously, teams do. But I worry about them more offensively than defensively. That's saying a lot, to be honest with you. From a defensive standpoint, communication is going to be key. It's going to be key. You have to talk. Your leaders, you have to come out and lead. Quickley is going to be one of them. Ingram, like these are the guys that you have to rely on. You have to rely on these guys. Yes, everybody's going to have to come out and play. And the same for your bench, which I'll talk about in another episode. But you're not looking at the young guys to lead you. Colin Murray-Boyles can't lead you. Jacoby Walter ain't going to lead you. Like, those are not the guys that you're looking at. The guys that you're looking at to lead you are the ones who get paid big bucks. Those are the ones that you're looking at to lead you. Quickley is one of those guys. So you got to attack Harden, get into the paint, use the midi if you have to. And the one thing that is very important, it's very important. If you're Emmanuel Quickley, you have to take high percentage shots. You can't force up bad shots. You cannot force up bad shots. And honestly, he's done a pretty good job towards the latter of the season in not doing that. Compared to what we saw at the beginning of the season, he's progressed in a pretty good way. But boy, are we going to need shooting from Emmanuel Quickley here. We are going to need it. It has been a problem for the Raptors this season. And going into this series against Cleveland, damn it, Emmanuel Quickley, you're going to have to shoot from three-point range and you're going to have to knock him down. That's just obvious. I mean, do I really have to tell you that? You guys know that already. Y'all know that already. I don't have to tell you that. We know that. And so, with that being said, I want to move along here. Let's talk for a second about RJ Barrett and Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, I'm talking more about the Raptors in this episode more than I'm talking about the Cleveland players because I watched the Raptors all year long. But let me just touch on Donovan Mitchell for just a second. Donovan Mitchell is a nightmare. He's a nightmare. Now, some of y'all watching this, can we admit that? Can we admit that? We know Donovan Mitchell is nothing to sneeze at here. We're talking about a strong guard, big, strong upper body, knows how to dip his shoulder into you going to the basket. Okay? Will launch it from long range. He's got a handle. He'll pull up from mid-range, stop on a dime as well. From an offensive standpoint, he's a lot to deal with. I mean, you can slow him down, possibly. You can slow him down. But to say that you can just come out here and stop him, that's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. I'm telling you that from right now. You're not just going to be able to stop Donovan Mitchell like that. It's not going to happen. You have to do this collectively. The help defense has to be impeccable. Your double teams and your rotations have to be amazing. And that's just a flat out truth. He's a nightmare. Whether you want to admit it or not, he is. And RJ Barrett, can he defend? Sure, he can defend. But I mean, is he elite? He ain't elite. I mean, to me, from a defensive standpoint, the guy's decent at best. He's decent at best. And that's okay. Because at this point, I mean, what are you going to expect? It's been that way all season. It's going to be that way now. So that's what you can expect from him. But it's going to be a nightmare. Okay. Ice Coro, what is that? Ice Okoro 10. Let me put this up so I can see what's going on here. No doubt RJ will have a game or two he goes crazy, but think there will be games he gets played off the court because his shots aren't falling and better defensive options. You're not wrong. You're not wrong whatsoever here. And so from RJ, from an offensive standpoint, you guys can let me know what you think, and I'll tell you what I think about RJ here. RJ is going to have to be extremely physical in this one. He's going to have to be extremely physical because it's like you mentioned, he's streaky, right? I think that's what you're saying here. He's streaky. There's games where he can go off for you, but there's games for you where he's going to be cold. And so to offset that to a certain degree, you want to see him be physical, get to the basket, and if he's getting hacked, you got to see him go to the free throw line and get points on the board there because it does a few different things. Being physical, scoring from the free throw line, right? And so you're stopping the game, getting points, but then also putting them in foul trouble and getting to the line in bonus situations, which is going to be important as well. You want to make them go to the bench. You want to have to make them sub guys out for getting into some foul trouble if you can. And listen, they're going to be smart defensively. They're not going to be idiots here, right? You're going to have to be careful from a defensive standpoint, regardless on which team you are in. But if you can get a Donovan Mitchell in foul trouble, a James Harden in foul trouble, right? Because you're being aggressive. Now, instead of possibly playing 40 minutes or 39 minutes, right? If they have to go to the bench, now possibly you can cut that down to 35 minutes, maybe 34 minutes, right? That's an extra 4 or 5 minutes off the floor for those players that make a difference. Everything matters here. Everything matters now. It's all X's and O's more than it was in a regular season. this is where ish really hits the fan here. And so everything that you do, there's a reaction and an adjustment that's going to have to be made. And this is where you see your coaches what they're made of. Because a big part of it is how fast can your coaches make adjustments? It's a big part of the playoffs, a massive part of the playoffs. Once again, as well, I said the same thing about Harden. It's going to be the same thing with Donovan Mitchell. You got to force the guy to play defense. You got to force him to play defense. Use that energy. Get him to use it defensively. Wear him down with physicality. The Raptors are a running team. Make them run. Hit them. Hit them. Make them defend. Use physicality, right? We've talked about that. I mean, that's been a talking point for this show for the last 6 months. You can't be afraid to use physicality. You have guys that are physical. RJ is a physical guy. Scotty is a physical guy. CMB is a physical player. You got to use your physicality. And I'll come back to that talking physicality with Pirtle. That's going to be huge. I'll talk about that in just a second. But RJ as well. Sometimes his shot selection drives me up the wall. He's got to be willing to make that extra pass. He's got to be willing to make the extra pass, find the higher percentage shot. You don't want to force up bad shots here. This is all team basketball. All the ego now, all the ego has to be gone. It has to be gone. Because one thing about the playoffs, when people are watching the playoffs, this is when everybody turns into an analyst. Everybody's laser focused. And if you do not make that extra pass, which has been a complaint for me about RJ a few times this season, it's going to be glaring. Why? Because like I mentioned, now every single thing you do matters. And RJ is a pretty damn good passer when he wants to be. He can create for his other teammates, but sometimes he's a bit of a black hole at the same time. He just wants to shoot everything that he catches. He's done a better job of it later on the season. The improvements have been made from some of these guys. Okay, so we do have to admit that. So make that extra pass if you're RJ Barrett. And the last thing I'm going to say about RJ Barrett, right? There's actually two things. From a defensive standpoint, got to keep guys in front of you. Obviously, we know that. Physical, but communication. You got to be talking. You got to be talking, pointing. You got to drop back, see where you have to be deadly serious about this. Going up against two prolific guards like this. You have to. You have to be disciplined. You got to be careful biting on those pump fakes with Mitchell and Harden. And so you have to be rooted in discipline defensively. And the last thing I want to say offensively about RJ Barrett. And this is going to be key. He has to move without the ball. He's got to play well without the ball in his hands. It cannot be pass the ball to Ingram and stand around. That cannot be it. He's got to move without the basketball. And these guys have to find each other cutting. They have to find each other cutting to the basket, going back door. You want to be able to simplify things. And if you can do that by finding guys moving without the ball, then that's a big piece of what you have to do. Moving on. Let's talk about Brandon Ingram for a second, because who is the starter? Can you guys confirm with me? Who is the starter? Is it Dean Wade or is it Max Strus? Is the starter for Cleveland Dean Wade or Max Strus? I don't know. But let's go with Dean Wade here, because 3-point shooter. He's going to look to light you up from 3-point range. I haven't seen him enough. I guess Dean. Ice Okoro 10 says. I guess Dean. I think it is Dean Wade. He's going to try to hit you up from 3. And because he's going to try to hit you up from 3, you already know what that means when it comes to getting into the paint, being Donovan Mitchell or James Harden. They're going to try to attack you relentlessly going into the paint to find this guy, Dean Wade. And then what do they have in the dunker spot? They're going to be looking for major drop-offs to Allen on one side and Mobley on the other. Get ready. You're going to see a lot of it. Mobley and Allen are trees. They're trees. I mean, you're looking at 2 7-footers here. I mean, what is it? What is that commercial? Is it the Midas where you have that thing blowing around on the car lot? Like, this is all you're gonna see from those guys. Just arms and just legs everywhere. They're just towers. And so they're gonna be hitting these guys in the dunker spot any chance that they can. And so Dean Wade, Max Strus, whoever the hell it is, they're 3-point shooters. That's what their job is. They're going to stretch the floor for you. And so guarding these guys straight up and keeping them in front of you is going to be key. Because if you can't, the help defense is going to have to come and you're going to be leaving these guys open in the corner. And it's going to be a problem. So, I mean, to Barrett, Quickley, Barnes, I'm sure he's going to be getting some run on these guys as well. Damn, you're going to have to try to do a good job keeping those guys in front of you. You're going to have to. This is just, it's going to be a hell of a matchup, and it's going to be very fun to watch. But Brandon Ingram, a couple of things that I want to talk about in regards to Brandon Ingram. Now, we know he's a mid-range guy, and that's okay. Listen, that's okay. If you got to go with what your bread and butter is, you got to play to your strength. We know that Brandon Ingram can make threes. We know that. He's an assassin from mid-range. We know that as well. You stick with what you're good at. You stick with what you're good at. And he's good at hitting you up from mid-range. We know that. He can make the 3-point shot, but you don't want him to settle for 3-point shots. Don't settle. Attack. Get to the mid-range. He can hit that 3. It's not like you're scared of Brandon Ingram taking 3-point shots. If he's open, and he will be open from time to time because he'll move and he'll get that shot, he'll take it. You don't have to worry about Brandon Ingram being aggressive. That's not something you have to worry about. He'll get those 3-point looks, and hopefully he can knock them down. But don't settle. Be aggressive. Go off the bounce. Keep them on their heels. Let them guess. If you're attacking going into the paint, they're going to be on their heels. They might take a step back, and you can hit them up from 3-point range. You're going to be able to get that turnaround midi. We know that. It's tough to stop Ingram. He's going to have to pass out of that double team. The double team will come. It's going to come because they're going to have a hard time, I believe, matching up with Brandon Ingram because he's got the size. Who are you going to put on him? Yes, you can put Harden on him. He's got the size. Mitchell, he can turn and shoot over him. Wade, he's going to be on him as well. He can do work on Wade. I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Brandon Ingram, don't settle for 3-point shots. Be aggressive, but when you're open, you're going to take them. Don't slow the ball down, Ingram. That's been a problem for me with Brandon Ingram. Slowing down the ball in transition. Too much dribbling, not enough passing. And when Brandon Ingram gets the ball in the half court set, there's a lot of times where he holds the ball and the defense gets set and we don't see enough movement. We got to see more movement when Brandon Ingram has the ball. It's got to move faster. We know there are times when you're going to isolate and go one-on-one. That's the play call. We get it. There are going to be times, especially when you get the mismatch, that's going to be a scenario for you that's going to work for your favor. When that favor happens and when that comes, then you got to take it. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But consecutively over time, you don't want it to be the ball is in Brandon Ingram's hands and it's just sticking and there's no movement. The defensive set and then all five guys are just watching you. That can't happen. That can't happen. That's not something that you want if you're the Raptors offense. The ball has to be flowing. There has to be movement. They need to attack the paint. They have to. You got to be able to find guys in dunker spot. Get the ball to the middle. Take the mid-range if you can. It can't just be one and done. You're shooting threes. You get into the basket. Mix it up. Mix it up. Brandon Ingram hits guys up from that mid-range. It's like his bread and butter, like I mentioned. That is his strength. Let him do it. You got to stretch the floor, but let him stick to what he's good at as well. Pass out of the double team. I talked about that. Move the ball, get the ball. Listen, in the offense in transition, Brandon Ingram will get the ball on an outlet pass, whether it's from Pirtle, whether it's from Barnes, whether it's from CMB and whatever. And there are times when he gets that outlet pass, he's going up the floor. There are guys in front of him. You got to move the damn ball. You got to move it. You can't have the ball just stuck in your hands dribbling. Anybody who's played, coached, you guys know this, and I don't have to explain it. The ball moves faster when it's being passed forward, not dribbled forward. Move the ball if you can. If you can, you do it. And you be aggressive going to the basket. From a defensive standpoint, he's going to have to guard multiple positions and guard them well. And he's going to have to guard them strong. He's going to have to use everything. He's going to have to use chest, shoulders, elbows, knees, head, shoulders, knees, and toes, damn it. You know what I'm talking about. He's going to have to use it all because there are going to be times when he will be matched up on a Mobley. He will be matched up possibly on a Jared Allen. And I'm not saying for long periods of time, but there will be times where, yes, he's going to be matched up on them. They're going to try to probably back him down and shoot over you. Don't be afraid to shove guys. Don't be afraid to be physical. Listen, man, I told you. Sometimes you got to fight dirty. Listen, this is the real world that we're living in. Now, I'm not telling you to be LaMelo Ball and just pull guys' feet from under you. I'm kidding me? I mean, but if it works, I mean, I'm joking. I'm not going there. But listen, you can't be afraid to bang. You can't be afraid to bang. You got to be physical. You got to shove someone. You got to give a hard foul here. Guys, this is a big boy league. NBA, damn it. No boys allowed. Mobley has long legs. Oh, yeah. I mean, are you kidding me? The guy's the size of a building. Okay, he's just long. But Brandon Ingram, he's got to be, from a defensive standpoint, he's got to be aggressive. We've seen how good he is rebounding the ball. He's a better rebounder than I had thought before coming to the Raptors. And honestly, we've seen him block shots. We have seen Brandon Ingram be pretty good in regards to blocking shots this season. And we have to see that continue. Okay, because one thing that you have to pay attention to is, yes, obviously Mobley and Allen are long, right? But they don't have girth. They're not necessarily physical specimens or strong, right? They're not a CMB or a Scotty Barnes. And so you can be able to match up with them from a physical standpoint. Yes, they're long, but physically, we can get the advantage here with Barnes, with Pirtle, Colin Murray Boyles. You can get that physical advantage. You got to push and shove them. You're going to have to leave it all on the table. Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes is going to be interesting because Scotty does give some problems to Mobley. Mobley, the last couple times we've played them, hasn't really been a factor. They haven't really been a factor. And so, are you going to be able to keep it that way? He's going to show up. That's for sure. He has to be effective. But Scotty gives him problems. And so, when we're talking about Scotty here, from a defensive standpoint, I think we're good. We know what Scotty gives to you defensively. He's going to be on the all-defensive team. He should be. Scotty can match up against anybody on pretty much any team. He can bang with centers, forwards, guards. It don't matter. It don't matter. Did y'all see the way that Draymond Green played defense on Kawhi Leonard last night? Did y'all see the way he played defense on Kawhi Leonard last night? Kawhi Leonard was in jail. He was in jail. He couldn't do anything. He said in the press conference after the game and the post game, he damn near couldn't even get a shot up. Scotty's going to have to put guys in jail. Like, that's the point that he's going to have to be on. He's going to have to make guys work. And he's going to have to make Evan Mobley work. Like, really work. He's going to have to be physical with him. And he will be. He's going to have a quick second jump on the offensive end and on the defensive end, getting rebounds because those guys are towers and they're going to be all over the glass. He's going to have to be bump and bruising and just be physical all over Mobley. Mobley doesn't want physicality. He doesn't want physicality. And he's going to be going after Barnes probably pretty aggressively. So if Scotty is aggressive from an offensive standpoint, you may be able to lure him in for some cheap fouls. You may be able to do that. Scotty's got to be aggressive. I've talked about this ad nauseum. He's got to be aggressive. Don't hesitate to take that midi. Don't hesitate to take that midi. If they're not guarding you, you take that shot. And do not hesitate doing it. And please, for the life of me, Scotty Barnes, do not pass up layups or dunks underneath the basket. That will drive me insane. You're too good for that. Do not pass up layups or dunks underneath the basket for lower percentage 3-point shots. It's just not what any of us want to see. It's not what any of us want to see. You know how many times this season I've seen Scotty Barnes pass up layups or dunks underneath the basket for low percentage 3-point shots? I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Go up, be aggressive, Try to flush it, dunk it on him if you have to, lay it in, but be aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. You tell me, out of all the people that we have on the roster, when we're talking about physical specimens, just big, strong, girth, athletic ability, finishing at the basket. Who else? Who else are you supposed to put trust in? Answer me that. Who else are you supposed to put trust in? We have to put trust in the guys that are on this team. And Scotty Barnes happens to be a guy that we need to trust. And we need to trust you on defense and on offense. We have to trust you to be aggressive. We need to rely on you. If we don't rely on you, then who? That's a serious question. If we're not supposed to rely on Scotty Barnes to get buckets, who are we supposed to rely on? Obviously, we have Ingram. Obviously, we have Barrett. Obviously, we have guys like Quickley. But are we supposed to rely on all of those guys all the time more than Scotty Barnes? Understand something here. I want to see Scotty Barnes be aggressive because I believe he's capable of being aggressive and getting buckets. And not just buckets, high percentage points. If I didn't think Scotty Barnes was capable of doing so, I wouldn't bring it up. Do you understand what I'm saying here? If I didn't think he was capable, I wouldn't mention it. But I'm mentioning it for a reason, because we have to rely on him. Just like I told you, we need the other guys. This is a team that's not built around one or just two superstar guys. Yes, you have all-stars in Scotty, who's an all-around player, but not an offensive juggernaut. And Brandon Ingram, yes, he can hit you up, right, on the offensive end. But you got to do it by committee. And I think everybody knows that. And the other thing, he's got to be able to lead with communication. He's got to be able to lead with communication. You have a bunch of guys on this team that are looking to be led. When you're on the court, you need a leader. You're looking for a leader. Mamu sometimes hesitates to shoot even when wide open. He is capable to shoot and ready for rebound. Yeah, I agree with that. And we'll talk about that a little bit more on the next show that I do, come into talking about the bench pieces. But I'm going to finish this up right now with Barnes, and then I'm going to go to Pirtle. But they're looking to be led. Teammates look for leadership. Like when things are going right and when things may not be necessarily going right, guys look around and say, can we depend on him? I'm telling you what I know. So if you're one of the young guys on the team, thank you, Ash YI4TW, $5 on the super chat. Appreciate that. I'm going to drop one for you. If you're a younger guy, right, you're in the game. You're a Jacoby Walter. You're a Colin Murray Boyles. Even if you're a Mamo Kelishvili, right, a Jamal Shed. If things aren't going right, you don't expect them to step up and do work. Because I can tell you something right now. They're looking at Scotty. They're looking at Ingram. They're looking at Quickley. Those are the vets. Those are the guys that get big money. Those are the guys who are at the All-Star game. They're looking at you. Scotty Barnes, I'm talking about. They're looking at you. They expect you to step up to the plate and get the job done. And Ingram, listen, I don't care who it is at this point. This starting unit that we have, these are not a bunch of rookies. These are young vets that we have right now. Young vets and vets. So Scotty, and I believe Scotty's going to rise to the occasion. You guys can let me know what you think, but I believe Scotty is going to step up to the occasion. That's right. Shoot when open. Don't care who has the ball. You don't get a lot of open shot. You're damn right. You're damn right. You got to take those open looks and knock those open looks down. I'm going to finish this thing off here with Jakob Poeltl, and I'll probably get to a few of the comments as well. Now, Jakob Poeltl, this is going to be, it's going to be a task for Jakob Poeltl with these two towers that they have down the middle with Mobley and Allen. So when it comes, what are the first few things that you think about that Jakob Poeltl is going to have to do? There's several different things. There's several different things, but I'll talk about 4 or 5 of these different things. I see Giovanni here and Juan. So now all the comments are just flooding in. Let me get to some of these. Raptors have nothing to lose. The pressure is all on the Cavs. 100% agree. And I talked about that at the beginning of the show. There's no pressure on here for the Raptors. I just mentioned to you 12 writers. 12 writers that literally all pick Cleveland to win this series. Just go out and play if you're the Raptors. Just go out and play. Giovanni, what's up, Giovanni? Mike Roach, the reality is they are going to put the Raptors in the half court, 100%. Pack the paint, play zone. It's no secret how to play the Raptors, 100%. And that's been the theme going up against the Raptors a bunch of different times this season. We've seen the zone against the Raptors a lot. And if the Raptors are not on point with moving the ball, getting open looks and making sure you knock those shots down and getting the ball into the middle, they're going to struggle. They have to do it, and they have to do it immediately on that zone. And you're right. They're going to be seeing a whole bunch of different looks, and they got to be able to make adjustments and make adjustments quickly. Great time for Scotty's first 40-point game. That would be pretty crazy if he does that. I don't know if I'm expecting that because Scotty ain't really, that type of offensive juggernaut, but I do expect him to get some points up on the board. So I'm going to get to Poeltl here. You're going to have to find a way if you're Jakob Poeltl. Obviously, he's going to have to play with physicality, which I've mentioned, for the millionth time. You're going to have to find a way to keep these guys off the offensive glass and prevent them from catching lobs. Remember that. You're going to have to keep these guys off the glass somehow, some way. You're going to have to go back to the basics, get low, and box these guys the hell out. Box them out. Push them out. And you're going to have to keep them from getting lobs in that pick and roll. James Harden is going to be tossing that thing up there for Evan Mobley and Allen. They will do it as much as they possibly can. It's an easy bucket. If they get the opportunity, trust me, they're going to do it at every chance they get. Keep them off the glass as much as you can. It's going to be a tough task. And please watch them throwing up that lob. they're going to throw it up like crazy. Guys, mark my words. That lob is going to be coming fast and furious. Pirtle, one thing that I do like about him, and we've talked about this for people who get in the comments, and make sure, get your comments up there. Get your comments up there. I'm reading them. Okay? Pirtle is going to do, he's going to have to do a decent passing job. Because I've talked to you about Pirtle and his passing. Pirtle's not a bad passer when you watch him. He's going to have to find guys cutting if he can. They're going to have to move without the ball, and he's going to have to try to find them cutting in the high post. He's going to have to try. How much he'll be able to do it, I really don't know. It's going to depend on how much these guys are moving with the ball, without the ball, obviously. But he's going to have to try to do that. Not all game, but at certain times, yes, you'll find them off the curl going into the basket. Hopefully he can find them there. And the drop coverage, defensively, drop coverage. I mean, he's going to be tested constantly in pick and roll. And that drop coverage is going to be key. I mean, he's going to have to play some middle ground, contest Mitchell's mid-range, and be ready to retreat on Harden if he has to because of his elite playmaking at times. He's going to have to do a lot. That contract that he signed, that people are up in arms about, I don't think he's ever going to be worth that, clearly. No disrespect, but at least Pirtle, we can go out there and say, try to make us proud here. Try to make us proud. You got to be a beast defensively. You have to be a beast defensively. Listen, you're going to have to try to spoon feed Pirtle, obviously, in the dunker spot to try to get him buckets. And he's going to have that little push shot. He's going to have to try to take and make as well. But you just want him for layups, the push shot. And he's going to have to be efficient, because there are times when we see Pirtle go his typical, 7 to 9 from the field, 6 to 7 from the field. Maybe you get him shooting 8 to 10, 8 or 11 from the field, but he's high percentage in the paint. He shoots a good field goal percentage, and that's what you're going to need from him. He ain't going to be taking any mid-range shots or step back and shoot. Obviously, we know that. But if you can find him around the basket, he gets to the right spots. He has good hands for the most part. We just need him to be efficient around the basket. If he can stay even 60 to 70%, 65 to 75% around the basket, that will be good enough for me. Okay? Because you just have to. You just have to at this point. And it wouldn't necessarily surprise me at some point if you're going to have to even lean more on Colin Murray-Boyles. Colin Murray-Boyles is going to be key. We'll talk about him. But there may be times at some point where you're going to need to see Colin Murray-Boyles in the game more than one Jakob Poeltl. Two more things I want to talk about with Jakob Poeltl. And one of them is kind of in regard to what I was just talking about. He's going to be put on the free throw line. He's going to have to knock down some free throws. Hopefully he can stay above 60, 65% from the free throw line. He will get there. And I don't want them to have to pull some type of Jakob Poeltl when they're just putting him on the line and he's going to be there just shooting bricks. That ain't what we want to see. Get to the line, Poeltl. Knock him down at a decent percentage if you can. And for the last thing with Poeltl, what I will say is he's going to have to do the best job he can of not just going out there and giving you cheap fouls. He's going to have to be disciplined. Hands are going to have to be up. You're going to have to be moving hands when guys face up with you. You're going to have to bang with them. You're going to have your elbows out. This is the longest show I've ever done. I'm gone into an hour now. He's going to have to be aggressive defensively, but he's going to have to be smart because you're going to need his size on the floor. Yes, you're going to have Sandro Mamukelashvili, and yes, you're going to have Colin Murray Boyles. They're going to play pretty damn good defense for you as well, and even stretch the floor out for you a little bit. But Pirtle, he's got the size, he's got some strength. If he can use it, would be great, and he'll clog that paint for you. You're going to need him to do all of these different things. And so, is it going to be a tough task for the Toronto Raptors? Overall, yes, it is. It's going to be extremely, extremely tough for both teams, I believe. But there's a pathway to victory here. Juan says CMB will be the X factor. You know what? You could be 100% right about that. From a defensive standpoint, he can give fits to both of their bigs and to probably Harden if he's matched up on him at times as well. He is just so big, strong, bruising, and just physical that he can cause fits for the opposition. And a lot of people, especially if you're in Cleveland, you may not be focusing your energy and attention on CMB like that. I don't worry really about Cleveland from a defensive standpoint, to be completely honest with you, at least not on the perimeter. It'll be tough around the basket for sure, but they're not a team that scares me. They're good. Absolutely. No doubt. But they're not a team that scares me. I've gone really long here. I'm in an hour. I'm going to wrap this thing up. Colin Murray Boyles will be great if he stays away from picking fouls. 100% true. We will need him end of game in tight situations. Completely agree. Completely agree. And he's going to be huge. He's going to be huge. And I'm excited for the next show because we're going to be talking about these guys on the bench. 4 guys mainly are probably the only ones you're going to see off the bench. Jamal Shed, Colin Murray Boyles, Jacoby Walter, and Sandro Mamukelashvili. Maybe you might get a couple minutes from some other guys, possibly, but those are the guys. Those are the guys that you're going to be off the bench. Kenneth says, Harden is good at three-pointers. Who will be guarding Harden for his three-point shooting? That's what we talked about earlier. I talked about Harden earlier. I mean, the guy is just shifty. Got a handle, will step back from 3 and just light your ass up if you ain't careful. You got to be extremely, extremely careful when it comes to James Harden and one Donovan Mitchell. At MikeRoach7 on IG, at MikeRoach23 on X. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe and share the Mike Roach Show. If you guys know people who want to listen to some pregame stuff and listen to these different shows as we break things down, send it to them. Just share it with them. Okay. That will be really nice for me. I would appreciate that. And once again, I'm going to mention, if you haven't already followed and subscribed me on YouTube, just hit that subscribe button so when shows come out, you will know instantaneously. Thank you for joining me. And before I get out of here, I do want to read some comments here for the next couple minutes before I get up out of here. Harden needs to prove himself. Choke playoffs. Everybody's watching James Harden because you're correct. He does not show up in the playoffs a lot of times. He just doesn't. And just a flat out truth. Free Thought Hip Hop says, the refs are going to give Harden and Mitchell all the foul calls. You know what? You're probably right. And we're going to have to keep our eye on that one as well. Because I just hope the officiating is not a problem. I really, really do. Because we don't need to be playing 8-on-5 out here. That would just absolutely be ridiculous. Ash YI4TW. Always CMB, Walter, and Shed. We need those guys to be active on the floor. Completely agree. Cool Poo. Strange name. But taking care of the ball, very important. No risky passes, making something out of every possession. Completely agree with you. Everything matters on these possessions here. Anything you do wrong sticks out like a sore thumb. I mean, guys are just going to be sweating in places they've never sweat before because they're going to be under so much pressure, and more for Cleveland than us. More for Cleveland than us. You can believe that. But I am just really happy and excited getting into this series and seeing how the Raptors show up and hoping they show up in a big way. But this is the Mike Roach Show. Get into the comments after the show if you didn't get to during the show, and I will absolutely get back to you. I always answer the comments, so get at me there. I'll be back again soon with another show. Also, if you haven't already done so, go check out the episode that I did last night about the Toronto Tempo, whose season is about to kick off in just a few weeks. Did the episode with one Savannah Hamilton. She was absolutely amazing. Go check out that great content there. Get in the comments as well. I'll get back to you there soon, shortly as well. This is the Mike Roach Show. I'll be talking to you soon again, and I'm out.